in Facebook. I didn't look how long it was. So I'm just going to get out here and walk as long as I have weather and a good connection. The phone works. I did want to get some outside in today. I thought the thunderstorm was going to prevent me completely, which is why we did that first hour on the bike. But today, man, I'm really hyped up to just keep this cut going. I'm just seeing how the lower back is tightened up, which I showed you guys in that picture in the community tab already. That's tightening up. So it's like, man, I got to keep this cut going. Like, it's going to be a really good thing, you know, because I think that's the tightest my lower back has looked outside of a full water cut for meets. Like when I've dropped 20 plus pounds of water, and then I took pictures of my low back some to see how they look. I put a couple of them up. Like that's the lowest it's been. But I'm doing it, I'm at 215, so it means we're doing really good on the muscle. Did I not put this to public? There we go. All right. Thought I said everything. Now I see some viewers kick in. I saw no viewers until now 4 of them came in. Hit that like button for me though, guys. Sorry, it's going to be the garbage truck coming by. It's going to be loud. I'm going to try to get past him quick and get back over to you lovely people. Let's hope we keep a great connection. This weather is beautiful now, right? The thunderstorm's ended. Of course, I'm walking under some trees so they're dripping water. So because it's still overcast, sorry guys, the truck is going to be loud when he comes by. Nothing we can do about it. But yeah, I mean, kind of excited to keep the cut going now. I wasn't happy with the way the front looked though in the footage this morning because of the lighting is still super dark. But I've also realized because the low back pulled in so much, it might have made the front seem a little looser, but I was really surprised. So I'll leave in the vlog some of the footage. Hey, what's up, Peppermint? Give me that like, brother, appreciate it. Yeah, we're live, dude. We're live. So yeah, I left some of the footage in of me walking away from the camera for the vlog. I'll leave some in when I voice it over. I've already kind of chopped it up, but I haven't voiced it yet. Just to kind of show that that was not a fake screenshot. I didn't edit anything. As you guys can see, that's really where the low back is. Like, I'm happy about that. So I'm like, what happens if we drop another 15 pounds? You know? Is that whole loose skin in my love handle area going to go away completely? Like, I'm almost feeling like it might. Like, it's a real possibility. And look, we had a bunch of trolls in here, Peppermint. We had several of them. They've been coming in again. I was having a lot of time where I was getting almost none of them. Now they're really obsessed again, so they're making more accounts. So I've realized they're upset, right? They do not like what's happening in these vlogs, or they wouldn't be doing that, because they died out for a bit. And yeah, so that's a good sign. And the people who dislike you are getting upset. Oh man, it means you're doing well. So we're gonna keep pushing forward. Only thing is, sucks that one of them was asking about coaching and then turned out to just be a hater because they're angry that you're making, yeah. Well, they should be worried, because it's like, coach never cuts lean, because I wasn't trying to always get super lean. And now that I am, and they realize what I'm doing is not anything unproven. Like, there's no, how do I put it? If they went and did basic research, like, oh crap, this is actually gonna work. He's not doing anything experimental. He's just doing the straight up OG bodybuilder contest mode that worked for tons of dudes. So yeah, they're not gonna like that. But I have to watch that temptation. Part of me wants to go, man, I could suck all that water down if I just do a clean low carb. But I'm like, no, I feel like the training is doing so well. 500 deadlift and 180 impressive. It's pretty decent. I mean, have I had clients exceed that? Yes, but it's still pretty good. I think you should be happy with that, Bronze Age. You know, I think you should be happy with that. Yeah, that's a good solid deadlift for 180. I mean, you're not going to be on national level platform with it, but it's solid. It's perfectly respectable. I say the heaviest deadlifts I've had from clients that I ever put up on camera in that weight range been like 185, or say 585, like a Charles at 585 at that. And then Justin right in the 180s. He did a 590 sumo on camera, so that I put up for you guys. But I mean, yeah, outside of those guys, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay, you're a coach. Okay, cool. Awesome, man. So we got coaches, just talking to coaches in here. I mean, yeah, and that's perfectly respectable. I mean, trying to think. We just had Ted he hit a 525 sumo, but he hit a 500 normal, and he's in the 180s right now. So I did that recently. So I mean, even with a lot of my clients, you're getting close to some of my better clients with that. So I think it's respectable, yeah. I think it's perfectly respectable. I like how coaches come into your channel to chew the cud and discuss training. Yeah, we have a bunch of them in here. A bunch of the regulars are full-time trainers, if you caught that. Like Chad, who comes in here, he's a personal trainer full-time. It's the same thing in my other stuff. I have whole circles of coaches I talk to. It's the nature of the game, like we hop shop. And it's always cool when we just kind of talk instead of them try to argue. I mean, I get too many people, though, they don't know what they're doing. Like Facebook, I get some regular people who they argue, and I'm like, dude, I don't care that you read some historical book, man. You're not even a serious lifter. Dudes place too much value in things that don't matter. It's really strange. I got a regular, like, on my Facebook. What's up, Dean? On my Facebook, he's trying to say that he's taking advice from an 80-year-old nutrition thing written by a bodybuilder. And I'm like, dude, why are you getting your nutrition advice from an 80-year-old source? And it wasn't even like a scientist or anything here. Just weird. In those situations, I just sit back and listen and learn. Bronze Age. I like to put my guys on a modern surplus, a 300, 500 calorie surplus. Thoughts? I think 500 is way too much. So I'll give you an example. Charles, who I just mentioned at 180, he did a 585 deadlift and a 505 back squat with a 325 flat bench at 180. We only bulk 10 pounds a year. So think that through in terms of the surplus you're recommending. He would gain a pound a week, a pound a month, right? He would gain a pound a month for 10 months and we would cut. And we did it for 3 years, and every year his total went up at 180. So I don't think that you need to go that high. Honestly, dudes can just lean bulk. They can recomp. I only would take lifters up into a surplus when we literally need to gain weight for whatever reason, maybe weight class purposes. But people who just care about their physique, I could make the case that they never really need to bulk. They could recomp, then they can occasionally lean bulk. I mean, it's not really necessary. It's not even necessary to be in a surplus to gain muscle. So, I could just have guys eat a clean diet and just get leaner year round and just continue to gain muscle and strength year after year. People totally do that just fine. So we keep that in mind. But as far as the bulking goes, dude, I would never do 500 surplus for a client unless they were trying to move up weight classes. And that's just my take on it. Peppermint fighting for that check crown, right? How long do you think people can recomp? They're like 15%. Depends on how fast they're capable of gaining muscle. How advanced are they? Because they're not going to be 15% if they recomp, are they? So you're eventually going to reach 14%. You're eventually going to reach 13%, right? So that's the way to look at it, Dean. I mean, I would say recomping gets real hard around 10%. It's super hard. So, but do the math on that. How many years is that? I'm not talking about a novice. Let's take someone who's already built a base, right? Let's say someone has 2 years of training and they're 15%. You want to recomp them. What are they really gaining per muscle per year? So how long could they recomp? 4 or 5 years. I mean, think about how much muscle it would take to displace 5% body fat. You know? And how little muscle guys are gaining, especially if they're drug-free once their noob gains are done. Dude, you're lucky to put on 2-3 pounds of muscle a year after that first 2 years, even if you were to bulk. So think about it from that perspective. You're talking about literally recomping for 4 or 5 years straight to go from 15 to 10%. And your maintenance is going to go up. Hey, Jay, Matt, I appreciate the compliment. Yeah, it's a marathon. Yeah, remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Of course, then we have the clowns who say, but look at sprinters versus marathon runners. And the sprinters all do back squats. They all lift weights, you know. Talk about the biggest scam anyone ever pulled in fitness. The marathon runner versus sprinter analogy. Talk about what a hustle to push HIIT cardio. Oh, and don't get me wrong, conditioning has its place for sports. It doesn't have a place for necessarily for body composition. You know, it's just silly. You lift weights to gain muscle, guys. Diet and cardio burn fat. It doesn't have to be high intensity. Yeah, absolutely, and it's a marathon. But let's keep those comments and likes flowing, guys. The stream a little slow. Also, we just dropped a 1 bar. I hope we are able to maintain a solid connection here, because if not, I'm gonna have to go home and go back inside. How many steps today? Don't know, Theodore. Okay, here it goes. I'm having to take a breath. Here goes the daily spiel, everyone. Dean, all the other guys, Peppermint, they hear this every day. All right, my goal is purely to do a specific number of minutes and hours of list cardio every day on my cut. I only track minutes because I also rotate through. The whole day could be done on the bike or the whole day could be done outside, depending upon the weather, my internet connection, other stuff happening. I don't track steps. I literally only track, I want X number of minutes of list cardio at a certain level of perceived exertion for me. And that number is 3 hours, is my baseline every day. Everything beyond that's bonus. This is being done purely to burn through fat calories as an energy source while on a pretty extreme cut for me. Makes sense? How much weight do you like to see for a novice in their first year, considering he is in the normal to slightly under? How often do you get those guys, though? You know, I'm happy with 15 pounds in a year, honestly. No, I don't track, but I track basically what my breathing feels like. No, I don't track all any of that. So I'm simply going for a certain level of perceived output, what keeps me in the list range so that I'm just burning fat as a calorie source while eating almost no fat. So that's why my low back is tightening up. That's why I'm dropping scale weight 2 pounds a week while maintaining all my strength and performance on the lifts. Right? Yeah, I'm happy with 15 pounds on them, honestly, Bruns. And here's why. Dudes are not happy when they get fat. Sounds good. You tried red light therapy? No. Dude, I'm not trying any more crazy stuff for tightening skin. I'm not doing it. I've tried too many things over the last 25 years. I'm not doing it. The only thing that helped at all was growth hormone. So when I get leaner, I'll probably grab 5 or 6 growth hormone kits and pin them in the area and see if they help. Short of that, I'm not wasting money on another product or service to tighten skin. Just not doing it, dude. I threw away so much money when I was younger, you know, and it's just like, let's try that. Nah, we're done just trying stuff. So maybe the growth hormone will help again. That's one of my new clients. I usually deal with much bigger people. The person is skinny, but no abdominal. Yeah, so there's your point. He's 14 to 15. Don't make him fat. He's gonna be really unhappy. So lean gains, dude. There's no reason that kid can't put on 15 pounds and literally recomp. So if he's a novice in that range, he could gain 15 pounds, and if he's 15% now, he'll be 13%. Are bulking and cutting cycles? No, if you need them, they can be. But generally, like, once you get to a body fat you're happy with, you probably shouldn't bulk and gain fat at all. Harris, you should probably lean bulk, honestly, which means super slow. But it depends. I mean, again, even then, we're talking only for people with extreme goals. Do you just want to have the best physique in the room somewhere? You don't got to bulk or cut or track anything. Just eat super clean, lots of protein, lift, and you'll just recomp. Even if you're getting, people forget that even if you're getting leaner, you can still gain muscle. If you're not gaining muscle on a cut, it's an extreme cut. Now, I'm on an extreme cut right now. I'm dropping 2 pounds every week. That's extreme. You know, but if you're not doing an extreme cut, you should be gaining muscle, even if it's at a slow rate. So for the average person, they may not ever need to really think about that. You know, just let them focus on getting stronger, gaining muscle, and just getting leaner and leaner over time. Keeping in mind the average American's overweight anyways. The average American's walking around at a body weight, they will never sustain lean unless they use steroids, right? Realistically, the average height guy is walking around at 190, 200. They're not going to be six-pack lean at 200 pounds without steroids. So we know that they basically could just run a small deficit for the next 5 years and still gain muscle just fine. Good morning, brothers and sisters. What's up, anabolic advocates? I'm lean bulking. In the last few days I overshot my projected aim. Today I'm cutting back slightly. Low back fat and love handles are most stubborn. For a lot of people they are, Dean. It depends on the person. Depends on genetics, where you store stuff. On average, when you recommend most men should start TRT, the moment their testosterone is low, right? I don't care if they're 18 or 60, right? Somewhere in that range. If their testosterone is low, they should start TRT. How's that? All right, that's the criteria. Jason, are there any benefits taking creatine on a cut? Potentially, yeah. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you, GR. Blood work is everything, right? What do you consider low? Definitely we start getting to 300, it's low. Here's my joke. Anything under 1,000, right? Anything in that normal range on the blood work is low. Anything a human can produce, no, joking aside. Definitely when you start approaching 300, it's a problem, right? For Cochino, low is anything under 1,000. I mean, I'm on 200 milligrams right now. That's what I'm staying on for a bit. I'm just doing my cut on 200 test. I'm not on anything else. I'm on no other stuff, no fat burners, no AIs. It's just test sip. And I don't see a reason to do anything more than that while cutting. It's just no point. Other people like Coach, you could do a bunch and you would cut so much faster. I'm like, I know. I don't want to deal with the extra stress on my body. I'm 48. I might do once a week. Why would you do more? Well, once a week we could argue is too often. I disagree with the crazy forum advice of the crazy high frequencies. Endocrinologists have proven that SIP stays stable at 14 days. They've repeatedly proven it with blood work. But I do once a week. Especially with SIP. SIP is really, really, really stable. I don't think people realize that. Like your level is not going to dip. How much test should someone start with in the first cycle? No, I think 300 is reasonable. I'm a super low dose advocate, by the way, Harris. I literally tell dudes, yeah, like 300. Like for me, like someone's, hey coach, what's a good first cycle? I don't know, 200 tests, 100 remo. Bam. People get mad at me. They're like, dude, that's like nothing. I'm like, you'll make good gains on that and you won't get any real side effects. What do you mean? That's fantastic. I work in a clinical lab professionally, haven't noticed major increases or decreases based on injection free. Exactly. And that's the point. All these guys on forums, they get into all this and they start getting to, there's dudes who are doing microdosing every day with insulin pen sub-Q with Enanthate. And I'm like, why? Why? What are you doing? Bro, pop your left glute 1 week, pop your right glute the next and move on. I don't know. Everyone uses more than they need because they want just such a certain extreme look. I broke my Texas state records on 500 milligrams. Like my last meet, dude, 500. I walked in 500, no orals. Broke my Texas state records and went home. Like, you know, everybody goes cray cray. They need too much gear. And I'm like, I'm happy on 200 right now. I'm like, I'm fine, dude. I feel good. Cut's going good, lifts are good. Need more. I know, then we chat with the people who don't use gear, and they're thinking that's extreme. All the gear users are laughing. They're like, I've had friends who are like, dude, you're like, no way, you're only on what you claim that you use. I'm like, I really am. Be like, coach, you didn't just deadlift 600 pounds when you said you're on. But yeah, in your 40s. Like, no. Learn how to train. Like, again, that's what it comes down to. Unless you're abusing, like pro bodybuilders, gear should simply enhance what you're doing, you know? It should be enhancing it. It should be, your training should be first. And, you know, a bit of test or whatever is a little pick-me-up. It's a little pep in your step. It's almost, so here's the way I view it. A modest cycle should do what supplements were supposed to do, okay? So that is what you should expect. So you should treat gear in the way that the result of gear should be what we thought creatine and supplements were going to do and we were taught they would do by the con men in the industry. Right? And I think that's the most beautiful description. People say describe Primobolan. Primobolan does what we thought creatine was going to do. That's literally what it does. Exactly. And that's the most beautiful description I've ever heard. Right? Primobolan does what we thought creatine was going to do when we were a noob. That's what it does. All right. So, yep. And quite frankly, how I just feel about it, people are like, they would ask me about these different comments. Like, honestly, guys, for most of you, if you're not trying to be a pro bodybuilder, you're not trying to break a world record in powerlifting, probably the only 4 things you would ever need: the test, nandrolone, primo, growth hormone. That's about it. I'm not saying you even need all of them. You need the test. That's about it. That's like, for men, that's the only 4 things that I ever advocate. Women, Anavar, obviously. Are you going to start progressing on pullover? Yeah. So I'm doing them with the barbell so I can load it, because just stacking 2 plates together and pinching 245s for pullovers has been really a pain. Ever get preference in other research compounds? Be cautious. There's a lot of, I don't know that there are, man. Anabolic, with the cost of growth hormone now, most of these peptides are like, eh. Today, I mean, I've had people ask that, they're like asking about you know, MK677, GHRPs. Look, guys, that's from a previous era when growth hormone was expensive. All these Chinese generics, anabolic, you'll see that in your name, right? You know what growth hormone costs right now. Come on. Look at all this Chinese generic stuff that's kicked out, that's coming back with amazing test results, with really good DIM, all that stuff, right? Nobody's paying more than $100 a kit for that. So you kind of see the problem with a lot of these other secretagogues. It's like, come on, guys. Growth, we're in a different era. Jason, been asking you about using a barbell pullovers. I've used barbells before also. I was referring to GH, I believe. We're in a great, yeah. I mean, like, dude, seriously, like the sources that everybody has access to, you're gonna pay $100 for a kit today. Like, you don't even need to be connected for that. Sometimes I slip up my diet for 2 weeks straight. My body weight shoots up like crazy just because more calories, sodium. No, it's going to be aldosterone. It's going to be sodium. It's going to be inflammation, right? You do know gaining, the most body fat you see people gain in a lab, men, is like 2 to 2.5 pounds, and that's extreme. You're not gaining more fat than that. It doesn't occur in laboratory settings in the metabolic ward. So just keep that in mind. Artificial substance to attain pie. But isn't that true of everything? Everything you're doing, all the food you're eating is artificial today. Nothing natural. Your cow isn't natural. Your broccoli's not natural. So who cares? So, but here's the thing, Pie's eye. Nobody cares, okay? Pie, look at it this way. You know what? People get Botox. They get plastic surgery. They get all this weakness, so who cares? So why do you care about natural? I don't. It's a silly concept, right? If some of these things can enhance your quality of life, they enhance your results, they make you feel better, they can even improve your health, certain aspects of your health. Like, sorry, again, you're confusing large abuse with someone using a little test in growth hormone. It's not. Half the time their blood work gets better. Nobody cares, it's not natural. We don't live in that world. Like, literally no one outside of a few bodybuilding purists and hippies even care about the term natural. Like, nobody else cares. Right? Nobody cares. And people don't always want to hear that. Like, sorry, dude. It's just reality. Look how mainstream plastic surgery is, Botox. This is the mainstream, it's not even lifters. And if you're gonna say, oh, it's artificial, so you're telling me that you don't think any of the actresses or any of the women you see on TV are pretty? You're like, no, I reject that. I only want women who have never used Botox, they've never done anything for their wrinkled skin, they don't wear makeup, right? So do you hold that same standard? And if you say no, then I'm gonna laugh. So you don't think any of these models or actresses or anything are attractive? You're like, no, they're ugly, not natural, you know, come on, get out of here. It doesn't apply to a Botox. Oh, well, who cares? It's art. So let's come over. Yeah, you're getting some small enhancement from the artificial, and it's improving your quality of life. So who cares? Let me spin it another way. Hey, that's great. I see that's a good thing then. Lifting weights is artificial and not natural. That's awesome too, right? Broccoli is a completely man-made food that does not appear in nature. We selectively bred it for years and years to get a high nutritional content. It's awesome. Exactly. So I'm not seeing the problem here. So fantastic stuff. How do I deal with impatient clients? Man. Hey, Bronze. When you figure that out, you'll be the greatest coach in all of history. When you figure out how to deal with impatient clients, hey, Pi, I'm giving you a hard time because I think the whole concept of people make those discussions is silly. Like, nobody cares. So what? So who cares? Outside of natural bodybuilding cures, no one gives a shit. It's reality. It's a marathon. So bronze, I always laugh. Occasionally, I've told this to a client. I had a client once who told me, well, coach, I want really, really fast results. Like, was there anything I can do to get even faster results in what you're programming for me? I want really fast results. And I responded to him, right, with, you know what I want? I'm like, if I'm going to get a wish, I'm not wasting it on fast gains. If I get a magical wish from a genie, instead of asking for impossibly fast gains, I want $1 billion. I want 3 copies of Scarlett Johansson in my bed every night. I mean, why are you wasting wishes, magic wishes? I want a cell phone that turns into a lightsaber and a dragon I can ride. If you're gonna waste a magic wish from a genie, why are you wasting it on crazy fast gains? You just be a trillionaire with 3 versions of Scarlett Johansson in your bed every night and just work out and make normal gains like everybody else. Don't be wasting wishes. And then they're like, oh. Like, I had one, is there some way I can make even faster gains than what you're writing for me? Like, no, dude, this is optimal. It's a period of the uncontrolled supercompensation with some muscle comeback or the weight that is gained. What do you mean? Talking about, I don't understand your question. Too long for me to read, man. I'm walking and doing cardio, dude, that's too much. You ever cut clients off for severe? Are they still paying? I'm a businessman. I'm not gonna emotionally invest. If a client is super non-compliant, but they're not creating problems for me, and they're still paying, no. When I get a super non-compliant client who blames me for his non-compliance because he's not doing what I tell him, he blames me for his lack of results, and he's late paying, then we start cutting people off. But I don't get emotionally attached to it. If they're not going to invest 100% into their efforts, I'm not going to emotionally invest into that client. Now, someone who gives me 100%, I'll invest in them, right? That's the way to view it. Coach, you ever get a phone that turns into a lightsaber? Maybe. Hi, bro, I see you. Cool, man, awesome. Keep the lightsaber talk for Planet Fitness. What do you mean emotional avoidance? No, I just don't get emotionally attached. Like, if a client's not going to go all in with their training and be consistent, I'm not going to get emotionally tied up in it. They turn into a paycheck. The clients who give 100%, I have a personal investment for me as a coach. Now, I invest in that person's efforts, like my level, right? 35 increase on bench for a novice is usually how much muscle put on. I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with 35, probably somewhere in about the 6 to 10 pound of muscle range. All right, ballpark. Yep. Well, I went to a bar. I'm hoping this is about the time of day where we start dropping streams. We're at one bar. I'm a little worried. 30. Who's 39? I'm 48. That's a lot. I mean, but it's hard to say because the bench is just upper body. I mean, I'm assuming they're gaining muscle through the whole body. You know, when I say that, it's obviously less than 10 pounds if they were not training their legs. But I don't train people that way. Like, I don't have clients who don't train their legs, and so we don't do that. I'm not the coach for them. Have you worked with clients on altering TA? It's just level. No, I don't mess with that at all. That's job for an endocrinologist, Jason, or anabolic. Listen, be careful, always worry when you're on your walk. That one dude takes pictures in front of your house. Hey, Jacob. Why, you just outed yourself as a stalker. What are you talking about? Some dude, and then you know all about it. So basically, you're a stalker. I thought you were a good poster all this time. Even knowing something like that makes you a stalker. Wow. Like, why'd you you outed yourself? Then why would you even say something like that? Yep. Yeah, no one who's not a crazy stalker following any sort of stuff would even think of saying something like that. Hey, Theodore, would you like to be next? So, all right. Yeah, so that's a guy who posts regularly in here, but again, he just outed himself as like a troll. So done. Hello from Greece. How you doing, Thanos? I didn't know Thanos was from Greece. I thought you were from another planet. Intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic, right? Over here with your infinity glove. All right. Respect from Poland. Awesome, man. How you doing, Carol? Yep. All right. Getting into work, brother. Good to see you. Staying at it. Have a good one. Take care, man. It's actually a Greek name. What? Thanos is a Greek name? I did not know this. I only know it from the Avengers. The Avengers with Thanos. Uh-oh, there's a Corvette. You guys want to see the vet? Here we go, Corvette. All right. What is body weight goal? You measure body fat. We only recently decided 200 is going to be my assessment point. Now, I'm not measuring body fat. I'm just going to go in the mirror. I'm not going to go do DEXs all this time. I've done DEXs before. I don't feel like spending the money or traveling or doing any of that nonsense. We're going to assess at 200. So I'm down to 215 now. At 200, I'll think I'll be lean enough to determine how much further, if further, I need to go at that point. What tricks and tips do you have for making more time of the day for cardio? Schedule your life around it. So for me, it's working because I'm streaming all of it. I'm still getting paid. This is my job. So my job is a coach and a content creator. So make it part of your job. That's a big tip. Most people don't have time to do 3-4 hours of cardio a day. I do because I can stream it and make it part of my work and my outreach and literally get clients and stuff from here while going for 200. Let's go, coach, you can do it. I think we can totally do it. I mean, we're off to a good start at 215. Well, simply increasing bench and overhead press help fill out the arms in the t-shirt. I don't know about that. Maybe, man. I don't know that you're going to get biceps or the long head of the tricep fully. I would say if your goal is to fill out the sleeves of a t-shirt, you should probably do some curls. The formal version is impressive. Okay. But I'm starting to like heavy compounds more and wish I did it. All right. Mainly did bodybuilding movements. Yeah, I mean, well, you can do all of it. I mean, I'm doing tons of curls right now. I mean, but I still squat, bench, and deadlift twice a week. Weight pull-ups twice a week. But, you know, I'm doing tons of curls right now. What's the closest you've gotten to 200 when cutting to get lean? I've been in the low 200s, but I had less muscle and I was on really low carbs, so it was a lot of water loss. Not counting water cut, though, because I've done to 197 to make weight for state records a couple years back. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like at this point, because of the water difference, though, I'm probably really close to the body fat I was even at the 204. In fact, I might even be the same body fat, but I'm also eating carbs. I'm on a bunch of enhancements. I feel like a natural is very, hard to read all this. Have you tried hydrostatic? No, I'm not interested. No, it's not much more accurate than it's not more accurate than DEXA scan. Sorry, I'm gonna call BS. Do you like Primo? Yeah, I like Primo. What about was a water cut for competing? Yeah, that was for comp. All right. I don't discuss all my. We don't allow pew talk, by the way. You guys already know that's a bannable offense due to their algorithms and the rules. I'm going to let you delete your comment. If you don't, I'm going to need to ban you. No pew talk of any type in the streams anymore. I've told you guys that multiple times. Come on. I'm going to give you a few seconds to delete your comment. Otherwise, you're breaking the known rules. All right. I'm on a lot of enhancements right now, as I believe getting jacked. You pedals. What are you on? What's your stack? What's the last time you cut? Not for comp. I don't. Hey, Big Back, you're asking me to think of exact dates and numbers while I'm walking. And I've done over an hour and a half of fasted cardio. Probably not the best time for me to try to check my notes. I don't know. Next, I don't know how to tell my clients this. That it's extremely hard to get jacked. It's impossible to get jacked as a novice. They're a novice. They're going to need to be advanced to be jacked. They're going to need to put in some years. All right. Not exact dates. I don't remember. Last year. All right. There you go. I was doing some cutting last year. Is that close enough? All right. Next. We've all cut for lean. Yes, I have cut to get leaner many times in my life. The first time I did it, I lost 150 pounds, by the way. That took me a year and a half. So, yes, obviously, I was 320 pounds when I got into working out at all. So, yeah, I thought you got shredded last year. Yeah, I wasn't leaner than I am now. I was just on no carbs. So, well, bronze, most people that have gotten through the novice phase have figured that out. Yeah. So you just got to let them know. I mean, these guys are like, well, where am I going to get like this? And they'll point at some dude who's been training for 12 years. It's like when you put in 12 years of hard work. And then they act like they don't get it. It's just like you're comparing yourself to people with, all these lifestyles. And it's like, well, you got to put in the work. It's literally like someone saying, oh man, this guy over here, he's got his full medical practice over here. Man, how do I get there? And they're just signed up for medical school. They're in their first month of medical school. I'm like, well, you're going to need 8 years of university, and then you're probably going to need a residency, and then you're going to need to find a way to fund your own practice. It's like, well, Brian, so that's the way that you have to be with them. You just got to let them know this. It's like, guys, come on, be realistic. No, carbs change water. No, you can, like if you drop water, you can look leaner, but you're not necessarily leaner. You're just holding less subcutaneous water. I'm carved up pretty heavy right now. Because I'm bro dieting right now. It gives me the best metabolic rate. I mean, I could cut carbs down and just do a clean keto, not a saturated fat, meaning mostly nuts and avocados for the calories, and drop a bunch of water. But I'm trying to keep my performance up in the gym. I'm trying to focus on losing the fat while retaining muscle. My clients watch a lot of bodybuilding stuff and feel the need to eat too much. Yeah, I might start dropping clients because they don't want to. Well, you want to start dropping them, but tell them they're just going to get fat and be unhappy with the results. They have to understand this. And if they don't, then it's a problem. No, I don't necessarily like a little blinder. Yeah, I think we're all trying to lose fat while keeping muscle. Nothing new here, right? So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I've realized I would probably look a lot leaner real fast if I just dropped the carbs. But I'm going to be fuller on the carbs. So again, I'm doing bro dieting, like literally chicken, broccoli, vegetable type dieting while doing huge amounts of list cardio. Sasquatch Vickers says, hi, Coach, huge fan of your work. Thank you, man. Hey, guys, I apologize if we do cut out. It's getting to be that time of day where the cell tower may cut out this stream. Bronze, I have to give you my self-programmed lie. So I can't deviate from my mindset. Even though I have been a competitive powerlifter historically and will step on the platform again and break state records again, I do not care about strength at this moment. I only care about retaining muscle while losing body fat. Make sense? It's a lie that I must convince myself of that is true. So I have to give you that answer from my self-programming. 100%, dude. We only care about muscle right now. Keeping as much muscle, gaining muscle while cutting, right? This is how you program. You don't worry about the other. So, how much kcal are you taking in? I'm on starvation calories, so like 2,800. That's the lowest calories I've eaten in like 8 years. So I'm doing like 2,800. That's crazy low for me. While doing hours of cardio every day. That's why I'm dropping 2 pounds a week, even though I bumped my carbs up. Without strength injuries, naturals can't be jack. True. Isn't looking leaner just for the same as leaner? No, leaner means you lose fat. Looking leaner can be faked with water manipulation and water balance to some extent. But if you get lean enough, that won't matter. So like if you get super, super lean, all that stuff to drop water won't matter anymore. You may look fuller if you don't. So it's dropping subcutaneous water around the fat. Make sense? So no, we're not splitting hairs at all. You should track your mileage for some fans, but I don't really care to. Being leaner translates to a lot better business for me. All my social media, all of it will go up. YouTube is really kind of a minor point in that whole equation too, really. Right? All right. Self-programming is sometimes you have to convince yourself. So normally I do care about strength a lot. But when I'm cutting, if I start worrying about that, what happens if my strength goes down while trying to get down shredded? Then all of a sudden that's going to derail my mindset. Make sense? We care about weight on the bar for rep work for purposes of muscle stimulus, but I don't care that I can't deadlift 600 pounds right now. Makes sense? So that's what we mean, yes. And you have to tell yourself you don't care, and you have to believe it. Irrelevant goal. All right, there are a lot of shredded influencers that get lower views than you, Coach, but they're not me. So step back and reassess that. Jason Blaha gets shredded. You understand? Not random person gets shredded. It matters. How do you convince yourself you well, I'm only telling it so you guys understand. I wouldn't tell myself that. I'm having to answer the person's question. So let's just change it to not a lie, because I do believe it. So normally I care about strength and I'm a power lifter, but at this point in time, it's a non-concern. We only care about body composition. How's that? Is that better? Are we good now? Have we clarified it? I'm at 1,700 and about 4,000 calories. Jesus Christ. Are you a woman? 1,700 calories? What? Gee, you need a coach. Now hire me, dude. We'll fix this. No. Nuh-uh. 1,700? No. Nope. Go over to my Facebook, put in an application. Let's get you fixed. That's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. A grown man who lifts on 1,700 calories. Yeah, back clients to do that. We program so that they can hit their lifts and comps, they can break their records, they can do their stuff. It's all programming. All right, one of my clients, it took 3 to 4 months to form 150 for 5 bench. At 160, he was gaining weight slow. That's why I give larger surpluses. Yeah, coach, I can help that guy. As Peppermint said, that guy needs help. That is unacceptably low. Now, yeah, we need to sort that. We got some metabolic issues that we need to address. That's just way too low. Damn, 1,700 calories for a grown man who lifts. Ooh, I'm sitting here talking about almost 2,800 is starvation calories, you know. That's for non-active. Yeah, those are calculated for people who don't have muscle from lifting weights. Right. Is that too slow? No, it's not too slow. I mean, he's gaining weight slow. He's gaining all muscle. I'm not that worried. I wouldn't be worried. Right? What? Hold up. Wait. What is that? That's a quarter. Oh, coach picking up a quarter. Free money. Yes, I really did that. All right. It all counts, guys. It all adds up. See, made an extra 25 cents in this stream beyond whatever the ads are. I didn't get any supers today. You guys didn't drop any supers. All right, you hire subcontractors? Nope, I do not. So do you think dieting is easier for some people? Yes, obviously. I'm not low because I went from 400 to 200, but I've been cutting along to, dude, no, this could be fixed. Yeah, I could get your energy turnover back up super fast, dude. Wasn't that a heads down quarter though? What are you talking about? This is a quarter. I didn't look if it was a heads up or heads down. What are you talking about? Jason, your quick thoughts? I don't discuss that sort of politics stuff. I'm not discussing any of those hot topics. I'm not getting myself canceled. I am not going to have my algorithm impacted by it. No, not going there. All right. I think the deadlift is the most important lift to look like you lift 185 with a 355 deadlift. I think you look different. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, my best deadlift on camera was 635. I'm a big deadlift fan. Coach. I apologize, brother. Yeah, Dale, you guys got to watch this stuff. We can't cover topics like that, man. It's just the way it is. Although now the views are picking up. I was thinking of running this down. Let's walk a little longer. I got 3 bars. We got plenty of viewers. When I retire, I will get into coach. Okay, cool. How lean do you think you would be if you didn't have? I mean, if I didn't have the appetite I have, I'd probably be shredded year round. All right, I'm a bottomless pit. Jason, under one movement, you can add to the big 3 lifts. Bench, squat, deadlift, that would be pull-ups, weighted pull-ups. I was talking about quarter, particularly heads down. These things are a sign of good luck or fortune. What? I've never heard such a thing. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. How would a quarter affect that? Doesn't even make sense. If someone deadlifted 305 for 5 or 2 years ago, is the muscle memory still there? Yeah, I'm still there. Weighted pull-ups, good quick answer. Thank you. May I ask why? Complements them really well. Builds a bunch of the muscles that are being understimulated by those. Builds your whole upper back, builds your mid back, builds your one of the best lat exercise. You'll get some bicep out of it, right? So if I'm just going to give you a quick answer, I'm just going with straight up pull-ups. Is that a garbage truck? Yes, that's a garbage truck. That is a garbage truck. And we just hit a bar. This may disconnect. If it does, I apologize, guys. Is the reason you don't program pull-ups because you don't want your back to outshine your arms? What? What do you mean, Big Jack? I do pull-ups twice a week on camera. I do weighted pull-ups all the time. Are you talking about me? I don't understand the question. Finding a quarter means you found some money, which can be a sign. Oh, okay, fair enough. Do you think pullover on a back day is enough to stimulate resistance for chest and triceps? Maybe. Yeah. I always have lats, rear delts, and traps sore after pullovers. I can see that. I did my pullovers. I did 95 for 3 sets of 10 today on pullovers. If people are gaining weight like 5 to 10 pounds a month, the lifts are going up. What does that mean? That means it's fat leverages. Bronze, body fat makes lifts easier. It changes the leverages. The muscles don't have to work as hard. So if you're not getting stronger muscles, you're just getting fat squish and fat leverage advantage. And as soon as they diet the fat off, all that leverage goes away. The strength leaves with it. Makes sense? Yeah, but you do the pull-ups for maintenance. Well, I'm cutting, dude. Although I did bump the weight a hair this week over what I was doing for the normal ones. I feel pullovers in my triceps. But I mean, realistically, are you really gonna worry about my pull-ups not progressing when, look at my back, you've seen my back, right? I am doing dead hang pull-ups, overhand grip pull-ups, dead hang with a 45-pound plate for my work sets right now, while losing 2 pounds a week. I think we're okay, dude. I feel pullovers in my triceps only. I feel them in I feel pullovers all over the place. That's why I'm such a big fan. I feel my triceps, my rear delts, my lats, my pecs. I feel the pec the least out of those, but I still feel it. I feel pullovers in my triceps. Yeah, that's huge. That's why I asked, because you're not programming to grow. I mean, sure, if I could move them up, I would move them up. Like, I'm not going to complain about more lat, but I'm training my arms more. I'm doing a lot of bicep work. I'm only doing pull-ups for my lats right now, though. As of this moment, I'm not even rowing, unless we're going to count the deadlifts and pullovers. Muscle lifting to maintain. So right, like I'm actively trying to force myself to gain muscle on the cut, even though I know it's unrealistic. Right? There are old school lifters doing crazy numbers. That's why I'm trying to get mine up. I've already said, man, I want to get to where I can do sets of 10 with a 45 on each side. So I'm doing 95 pounds now. I want to get to 135. Like, that's a goal. If you do 9 body weight chin-ups, should I add weight? Probably, a little bit, yeah. Roland, you're 100% right with leverage when it's not strength really going away. Yeah, exactly. And that's the point. That's why it's problematic. But I asked because it's easy to hit seeing PRs with pull-ups when cutting. It's not like you need a bigger back. But, any muscle growth when cutting is beneficial to overall goals. I am doing more curls than I am back work, though. You have to gain muscle, you will maintain everything if you gain a little bit. And that's the idea. If you really try to force yourself to gain muscle on a cut, you're in a much better position. You're at least less likely to lose muscle. And I agree with that. And that's literally what I'm doing. Jason, do you dead hang before? I'm trying to mostly do dead hang. Not a dead stop. A lot of them were full hangs. Some of them I hung for a couple seconds. Jason, pound for pound, who's stronger in general opinion? Pro strongman or I don't know. How are we supposed to quantify that? You mean you're going to have to find the individual person in comparison? It's not going to be the individual sport. What kind of curl PRs? I just want to pick up reps or weight at all. Although I was happy with them today, so doing the full range all the way to my face. I did 85. Keep in mind, my strict curls are not super strong. I can do cheat curls with 185. With strict curls all the way down, dead stop, all the way to my face. I'm doing 85 for sets of 8, which is pretty much the best I've gotten on the super strict. but that is all the way to my face and then all the way down, and no cheating. I'd like to just keep getting that up. Like, let's see if we can get that to 95 for 10. Have you tried doing, not really. I've messed with drag curls. I don't get that much out of them. Any updates? Yeah, I mean, I've got update pictures. I'm at 215. I showed that low back picture in the community tab. All right. All right, guys. We did good here. We've done 2 hours fasted in YouTube plus that. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm going to wind this one down. And so I'll do, obviously, at least another one of these for you guys here today. So I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.